Hi, I'm Ron. Thanks for checking this out. Last year, about this time, you may remember, we looked at a couple of seasonal songs that you could learn to play on Native American flute with just a few extra fingerings outside of what I like to think of as beginner mode and what most people call basic scale. We're going to do something similar today, but we're going to look at a couple of seasonal songs that you can learn by just adding one extra fingering. The other thing that I like about these two songs is that will help us to understand a really helpful way to think about mode. So grab your favorite Native American flute in A, and let's get started. This fingering is one that we've used before on this channel, so you may already be familiar with it, maybe already using it regularly. But if you're a less experienced player, or if you've spent all of your time playing in basic scale, it might be new to you. So let's take a look at it. The fingering in isolation is this. Right? And you'll notice that now the ring finger on our upper hand, it has to move up and down to make this. And if I play it along with some of the notes around it, you'll see that this finger has to be going up and down while other fingers are moving at the same time. Take a look. Now, ring finger on our hand is usually the weakest finger on our hand, and it may take a little extra work to build that up. So you can do this on your flute, but you can also find a flat surface like a tabletop works really well. And what you want to do is just let all of your fingers relax on the surface, and then see if you can get that fourth finger to go up and down by itself. Now, I started my musical life as a keyboard player, and we keyboard players spend a lot of time working on finger independence. So my finger can still go up and down on its own pretty much, even though I don't practice piano like I used to. But for a lot of us, our pinky is going to want to go along because those two fingers are actually attached further back in the hand. So if your pinky wants to go along, that's fine. But what we do want to avoid is letting the pinky kind of fly off into space, because if we're playing our flute and that happens, then that kind of pulls our whole hand out of alignment. So you might want to practice that a little bit first and then try that fingering. All right, let's look at a couple of songs. Okay, I'm going to show you how these songs work, but we're not going to go into great detail about them in this video. The reason being that I've collected these songs from this video, plus the two songs from last year, plus a bunch of other songs, and have put them all into a collection called, not surprisingly, 15 Winter Songs that you can learn to play on your Native American flute. And that's available on my website now. I'll tell you more about it in a little bit. Let's get playing. Now, this first song is actually an Irish traditional song, and I'm not going to embarrass myself or offend anybody by trying to pronounce the Gaelic name. In English, it's usually known as On a Cold Winter's Day. Now, back in the day, I shared concerts with a wonderful Irish flute player named Gray Larson, and we found that our flutes got along really, really well together, and a lot of traditional Irish ballads in particular sound really nice on native flute. So here it is. This is a good one, actually, for practicing this fingering if you're not familiar with it before, because the very first thing that happens is that we start on the bottom and then jump right up to that fingering. Now, those of you who are familiar with this song will notice that I've made a little bit of an adjustment towards the bottom of the range for a note that our flute just can't reach down there. But otherwise, this will be pretty close. All right, here we go on a cold winter's day. Lovely song, don't you think? Now, one of the things I really love about this song is that it does not end on the bottom of the flute, right? So many of our basic scale melodies that we hear all the time always end up sitting down here at the bottom of the flute. But this melody ends Here, on fingering 3 of basic scale, the center of gravity is different. So it's a very cool tune that way, and it allows us some melodic shapes that actually go below the ending note of the song, which is really nice. Our other song for today is a Japanese children's song about the snow. The Japanese name of it is down here. I actually had some Japanese language studies during my grad student days, but I have no confidence in it. So let's just call this the snow song. This is a brighter, more cheerful kind of song, celebrating being out in the snow, having a good time in the snow. And what I'd like for you to really especially listen for is that our first song, the Irish ballad, ended on this fingering. This song is going to end on this fingering. Right? So what I'd like for you to think about a little bit is, why is that? What is it about these two songs that convinces our ear that even though it's the same notes, right, the song wants to end in a different place? And, it's not about how fast the songs go, right? This is a brighter, more cheerful kind of song, but that's not what's doing it. It's other things. So maybe we'll talk about that in just a sec. Here's the song. Isn't that a fun little tune? All right, try it out if you want, and then we'll talk about mode for just a little bit. One way of thinking about mode is to start out with, hey, here is our collection of pitches. And now we can explore relationships available within that collection of pitches. And depending on how we use those pitches, which ones do we emphasize? Which ones do we de-emphasize? Which ones do we lengthen? Which ones do we shorten? How are our phrases shaped to highlight particular relationships? All of that contributes to hearing one note or the other as the center of gravity, where our song is going to want to end. So I'm going to play through these two songs one more time, and what I'd like for you to notice is in the Irish song how many times you'll hear things like this. Emphasizing this note and notes that kind of want to pull towards it. Right? But in the Japanese song, you'll hear a lot of things like this. And as you can hear, it really doesn't take that much to pull our ear in one direction or another. It's just a matter of putting those notes in the relationship that you want to be in to help your listener hear what you want them to hear. Here are the songs again. Once you have those under control, here's a fun little thing you can try. See if you can make a melody on your flute using just notes from basic scale and our extra fingering that we've been working with today. See if you can make a melody that wants to end down here on the bottom note of the flute. Then see if you can make a melody that wants to end here instead. And then see if you can make a melody that wants to end here instead. And you will be exploring mode in a really traditional kind of way. As I mentioned earlier, I took the songs that we were looking at today, plus the songs we did in the similar video last year, and a bunch of other songs, and have put them all into a collection called 15 Winter Songs. It's available now at my website. There are links in the description box. Be sure to use the discount code. It's right there in the description box as well. You'll get 15% off if you're interested in the download. It comes as a PDF download. You can put it right on your tablet and just pull up whatever song you want to learn at any point along the way. Now, each of the songs in the collection is notated in 3 different ways. First, it will be given in standard Euro classical notation at sounding pitch, and you'll be given a suggestion of flute key that will most easily produce the song at that pitch. Then for those of you who like using Nakai TAB, the song will be there in Nakai TAB. Of course, the advantage of Nakai TAB is then you can play it on any key flute that you want to. And then for those of you who just don't like dealing with staff notation, and I understand that feeling from time to time, I've also put each of the songs into my own finger number notation system. Now, there are plenty of practice tips and fingering charts along the way to help you understand all of that and help make the songs a joy to play rather than a chore to learn. So check that out at my website if you're interested. While you're there, you might also want to take a look at my latest album, Forest and Mountain. It is 2 extended tracks of music, about 20 minutes each, that grew out of playing for online meditation groups. So I think you'll find it a nice way to chill out for a while. So other things to look at the website while you're there too. So thank you if you have time to check that out. And all right. This time of year, I usually try to take some downtime. New moon time is right around the corner, and winter solstice follows close after that. So this will be my last video for the year. I want to say many, many thanks to all of you who've spent any time at all at the channel this year, and especially to those of you who have subscribed and left nice comments. Subscriptions are really up this year, and I really appreciate it. And then a special thank you to all of you who have gone to the website and found ways to be supportive, whether by making a donation in the tip jar or downloading some tracks or some music or scheduling a lesson or workshop or whatever. It's all been very, very greatly appreciated. So many, many thanks. Next year, early on, I have some big life changes coming, and with that always comes an examination of priorities, and that will have to include how much time I'm spending making YouTube videos. So I'm not exactly sure when I'll be back up posting again. It might be January, it might be April. But in the meantime, whatever festivals you and your family enjoy celebrating this time of year, I hope it all goes beautifully for you, and best wishes to all of you in the new year. Look forward to seeing you again down the road. Now, the very last song in my collection is a rather challenging one to play, but lots of people like it. It's called Carol of the Bells. So I will play that for you on the way out, and see you down the road.